Hey everyone, it's Nathaniel, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw a level 1 or 2 Barbarian and Archer from Clash of Clans. And this was requested by Mega Mech Gaming. Huge shouts out. Please pause this video right now and subscribe to his channel immediately. He's the best. Now folks, this is going to be a long one, let me tell you. The footage you see now is sped up times 3, but this drawing took me about like an hour to make, and that's mainly because this drawing features 2 figures, and also, as you'll see in the end, I decided to color this with colored pencil, and that took a while. But anyway, let's get to it. As you see here, I've been drawing a very light sketch of the Archer and the Barbarian, and I'm using very basic shapes I can work with, like circles and squares for the bodies, and lines for the limbs. And I'm making sure I can draw them lightly in case I make a mistake, I can erase it easily. And I'm just doing this to get their placement and proportion right. As you already know, the Barbarian, being a warrior who charges to battle, is a very big and burly guy, while the Archer is smaller and stealthier, so she can attack from far away. So we want to show that in their size difference. And this is also like a good sign of good character design, when you can tell a lot about your character just through how they look. And sometimes we, as humans, like to do this too. We like to express ourselves through our appearance. For example, if someone wears a lot of Star Wars and Star Trek t-shirts, you can assume they like science fiction, right? Or if someone wears Hirachis or dad hats, you can tell that they like to follow basic Instagram trends. So what you want to do in your drawing is work general to specific, and I made light sketches to start and then started filling in the features more and more, making sure that each character is about even in the amount of features that they have and amount of detail that they have. And I personally like to work on the outline and then go into the drawing. I also recommend you set some guidelines for the face to know where to put the facial features. And as a rule of thumb, especially when drawing existing objects or characters, I think it's important to have a reference when drawing and coloring if your purpose is to replicate that object or character as best as you can. And you can't see in the video, but while I'm drawing, I'm constantly looking at pictures of the characters on my iPad, so I know what the characters look like. And when drawing from observation, don't be afraid to look at your reference more than your actual drawing. That's what I always say. Now, they are both strong fighters, so they should be fit. And don't forget the archer should be pretty muscular too, because it takes a lot of strength to be able to use a bow and arrow. It's not as easy as it seems. And sometimes people forget to put muscles on the girls. Now, as you saw just there, I erased the warrior's sword arm because it was way too long compared to the other arm. And that's just an example of why you should draw lightly. You should remember that it's okay to make mistakes and be prepared to erase as much as you actually draw, if not more. And since these are pre-existing characters, you may want to capture their defining features, like their classic blocky Lego hair, or in the case of the Barbarian, his classic open mouth yell. Now, as I start to darken my pencil lines, as I start to darken my pencil lines and details in the face and clothes of the characters, I decided to shade a little using the pencil, which I don't really recommend if you want to use colored pencil later on. I think if you want to shade in your drawing, in addition to shading in your coloring, like if you want to shade in your line art along with your shading in your coloring, then you should use ink maybe for the line art to establish the darker shadows and shades, and then you can add color and then shade even further with your colors, like make some colors darker and some colors lighter. And this is done in like comic books if you want to see an example of what I'm talking about. I know I did a pretty bad job of explaining it. So now we move on to coloring, and in reality you can stop right here without coloring anything and maybe shade further if you want to, if you want to develop your drawing, but it's really up to you whether the drawing is finished or not. I know some people don't have colored pencils, and I'm using Prismacolors. I know some people don't have colored pencils, and I'm using Prismacolors, which are also expensive. So don't be afraid to just stop before coloring. Also, I don't recommend you do what I did there. I started coloring the Barbarian first, which is on the right side of the canvas. And if you're right-handed like me, you should work from left to right, not instead of right to left, because your hand will smudge up your drawing as it moves, as your hand moves along the canvas. Anyway, as you color, you wanna apply the same principle of general to specific. You wanna fill in the biggest areas lightly first, with whatever color belongs to that area, and then shade the darker areas. In this video, sometimes I did like the opposite, but you should do as I say, not as I do. You know what I mean? And you should just continue this until you feel that you're done. And also, I know the quality of the video is kind of bad, so I'm gonna put up a high resolution image of what the final result looks like. And as you can see, my pencil lines are messy and the coloring is very spotty, but with more time and effort you can do a better job than me by darkening your lines or shading your colors even further and adding contrast. But anyway, that is how you draw Barbarian and Archer from Clash of Clans. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to check out Mega Mech Gaming. Check out his channel, he requested this. Don't forget to make a request for any more drawings, and watch up my other videos. Thank you very much.
I say, bitch, what is you think?